So I just did a pretty impactful thing with regards to improving the audio quality and presence of the audio in my dedicated home theater room, and that's basically a subwoofer crawl. I tried experimenting with the locations of the subwoofers in my space, moving them around from where I've had them actually for quite a while now, and seeing if I could arrive at a better setup based on putting them at different locations. I had a pretty transformative result with regards to doing this. If you haven't done this exercise for yourself in your own space, in your own home theater setup, you really kind of owe it yourself to do it. You may just find a whole bunch of untapped potential in your room that wasn't being realized with the setup that you may have chosen just by default or because of aesthetics. I have a 7.2.4 audio system. I've got two subwoofers. They're both Arundel Sound 1723 2S sealed subwoofers with the dual 13.8-inch drivers. I think these are fantastic subs. I think they have excellent build quality. I think they hit really hard with excellent transients and power. Audioholics and a bunch of other social content creators have reviewed these and given them blessings as well. But I felt for a while that I'm just not getting everything that I can out of those subwoofers in my space, and really that's been due to my positioning. So just by default, for the sake of simplicity, shorter wiring runs and all of that, I have always ran my dedicated home theater room with essentially both of my subwoofers in the front of the room. I had originally had some Rels and some tower speakers, and so those actually kind of wanted to be co-located. When I changed my room over to being architectural and I picked up these Arundel subs, I just kind of left them by default where the subs had been before, which is kind of in the front of the room, split apart, almost basically to the corners. The reality though, and I'll show this with an overlay of kind of the response of the room, is my space has some really, really hard knolls just before and around like the 50 hertz region, which is really the mid-bass region that's so important, I think, for impactful bass. Now my subs hit really low. They go off of the Arc Genesis quick measures here, which goes down to 15 hertz. They're holding strong kind of below that level. But what I really wanted to do was kind of find some positioning where room correction and Arc Genesis didn't have to try to fight these knolls. Could I move a subwoofer, or maybe even both of them, to a preferable location and naturally overcome the knoll? And thankfully so, I was able to do this. So if I roll through these kind of next four pictures, we can see the front left corner of the room. That's where I traditionally had been running one of the subwoofers, and one remains there. The front right corner where the second sub had been for the longest time, and essentially was giving very similar response to the front left to front right corners of the room. Very, very minimal difference in the overall response. And I tried moving them around in the same space. It didn't create any impactful difference, not until I took them to the back of the room. So here's a picture of the back left corner, which is still empty, no subwoofer, but then that second sub, which was formerly in the front right, is now in the back right. And so I essentially have opposing subwoofers, front left, back right, opposite corners, kitty corner from each other in the room. And if I show the resulting quick measurements, and these are all done using Arc Genesis Quick Measure, Anthem Arc Genesis, they're all with the microphone in the main listening position. This is really, really kind of astounding. It was really kind of what I was hoping for, which is the subwoofer in the front left of the room is able to really dig deep, but it has these mid-bass knolls. The one in the back of the room, though, holds much stronger through the mid-bass region, even though that position knolls in the deeper bass, in the tactile bass regions. But that's okay, because I've got one subwoofer that's able to deliver low, deep, and extended bass, and I've got another subwoofer now positioned and able to deliver strong, impactful bass through that mid-bass region before we finally start to hit the crossover region where both of them together, both locations together, start to fall off anyway. I did the first movie watching after having moved everything around and completely rerunning the Arc Genesis calibration. Wow. So when I've had both subs at the front of the room and I've had other people over to listen, people have generally found the bass response to be good. Actually, I get a lot of questions like, do you have tactile transducers in here? And no, I don't. But the subs, because of the cement subfloor and the logistics of the space, they really, really hit good with the tactile. But I always felt something was missing in the overall sensation and such of not only feeling that low end bass extension, but of kind of like hearing it and having it be just more throaty and complete and full. And I think now I have that. So I watched Godzilla King of the Monsters, one of the more recent Warner Monsterverse Godzilla titles where he faces off against Ghidorah. And oh my goodness, what a movie, first of all, to test bass. I swear, I heard things, felt things, the response, deep, throaty, full, and just complete in a way that it was not before. The best that Arc Genesis could do to try to fight the nulls with room EQ and all of that in the subwoofers, you just can't fight those nulls. You have to solve nulls with physical solutions, positioning, treatments, and whatever it might be to try to overcome those nulls in a more natural way that's not just like DSP or digital processing. And now I've done that. On the downside, I definitely heard some things rattling in my room now that I really wasn't hearing before, so I got a little bit more work to do. I got to stabilize, I think, some of the recessed, metal recessed light trims that are particularly in the back of the room, around the corners and the projector. Because I heard those things going off in some of the certain bass responses of that movie. So I'm super jazzed. I'm ready to get in there, demo out some more content, watch some more movies, hear and feel bass more completely in my room like I wasn't feeling before. Makes me wonder as well, at some point I probably will have 4 subs, be able to keep them in all of those 4 corners. We're going to get fairly similar responses out of both of the fronts and both of the backs, but I think there's still value to be gained, and also kind of giving more headroom and leveling up some of the impact and power and volume by doing that. But it makes me wonder, do I really need actually to independently EQ 4 subwoofers when the responses are so much the same? Maybe I'm good to keep this AVM 70 for a while longer and just basically daisy chain the 2 subs in the front off of each other as a single sub, and 2 future subwoofers in the back also as a single sub. So lots of options. We'll have to see kind of where things go. But hopefully this video helps you, gives you some inspiration. Again, if you're looking to get some more latent, untapped performance potential out of your system, man, try moving your speakers and subs around and see what's what. So sound off in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if positioning played a big role in getting your system fully dialed in. Otherwise, please do all that regular YouTube stuff. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, share the video, leave those comments. And if you'd like to support the channel so I can buy some more subwoofers, they're super thanks. You can leave tips with PayPal and Venmo. And always, always do your shopping on Amazon and your home theater shopping with audio advice via my affiliate links down in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Coming back for more home theater discussion and fun.